Hello my dear chess friends, what's up? I hope you are keeping well. In this video, I will be going through a game I played online against a fellow Sri Lankan chess player. In this game, I was playing as black and my opponent opened with e4. I responded with d5, this is known as the Scandinavian defense. The main line here is that once you take on d5, I'll take back with the queen and you play knight c3. But my opponent played a rather strange move. He played knight to f3. So this is known as a Tennison's Gambit, and he's basically gambiting this e4 pawn. So I took his e4 pawn, and he went knight to g5, attacking my e4 pawn. I went knight to f6, defending the e4 pawn, and he went queen to e2, attacking it not only with his knight but also with his queen. And he's also threatening, queen to b5 check here. So I play bishop to f5. Okay, I'm defending my e4 pawn. Everything looks good so far. And he went queen to b5 check. And how would you protect your king and this bishop at the same time? Simple. Bishop to d7. But this b7 pawn is open, but that's okay, it's fine. So he took my b7 pawn. I went back to c6. And he played c3. Which is not the best move. I think it's rather passive. Personally, I would prefer a move like bishop to b5 in these positions. I feel it would be much better because then you're attacking the knight and there's some pressure at least. But bishop to b5, I'll just go rook to b8, queen to a6, rook to b6, and then queen to a4. I'm still dominating the position. Black is still better here, either way. So c3, I went rook to b8, he went queen to a6, and I played e6. Here e6 is a blunder, because I should have played h6 here. If I played h6, his knight would be forced to retreat to the h3 square, and I could just exchange my bishop for his knight, and he'll be left with a double isolated pawn, which is considered to be a major weakness in any position. So anyway, e6, and this just gives him a chance here. He can regain this pawn. He went queen to e2, I played bishop to e7, and he regained his lost material. I castled, he went d4, I played e5. Obviously, I'm trying to control the center. You always want to fight for the center in any chess game. That's a must. So he took on f6, I took back on f6, he went d5, okay, knight to e7, c4, knight to f5, and bishop to e3. And here I played knight to d4. Here taking on d4 is a really bad idea because I have rook to e8 and his king is wide open and his queen will be pinned to the king. It's just bad for white here. So he played queen to d2. And here I played bishop to a4. This is a rather passive move by me. It's a very situational move, and honestly bishop to f5 is much better here because this bishop controls more space on f5 than on a4. A4. Because on a4 it's just targeting this c2 square. It's only targeting the c2 square. On f5 it controls more space on the board. You see? Okay. He played knight to a3. Honestly, better than knight to a3 here is b3. b3 just makes this bishop to a4 move a total waste. Honestly. Knight to a3. I retreated. I played knight to f5. He played b3. And I played e4, attacking his rook. And he played rook to c1. I played bishop to d7, bishop to e2, bishop to e7, knight to c2. I took on e3. He takes back with his queen, and I played f5. He played f4. A stronger move here would be, well, the engine says h4, but maybe A castling also would be a better idea. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, f4 is just bad. I took it with en passant, sorry. He took back with his g pawn, and I went bishop to f5. He played f4. I gave him a check. King to f1, and queen to f6. And now you can already see, guys, that black is just much better here. His king is kind of in the open. This f4 pawn is literally a target here. There's very few pieces that can defend this pawn. So when there's a pawn that's this weak, what do? You attack it. Alright? So he played queen to e5, offering an exchange of queens. You do not want to trade queens in this sort of position. So I play queen to h6. He went queen to d4. I move my a8 rook to e8. Knight to e1. Now this is not a good move in this sort of position, because now I'm just going to move my rook here, and his f4 pawn is weak. Rook to e4. Queen to d2, and now it's just practically lights out for white here. Rook takes f4, and it's just game over, guys. It's just game over. Bishop to f3. Rook f8. Everything's under attack here. Everything. And it's a mate in 5 now. Queen to g6. And here I'm estimating into a simple move here would just here take the knight, takes back, and queen to g4. That's mate. But I think I was under time pressure at this point. It was a 3-minute blitz game and I missed it, unfortunately. But oh well. I play queen to h6, queen to g2, and I took his knight, and now it's just mate in 1 here, and he resigned. At this point he resigned. Bishop h5, and it's over, so he resigned. Okay guys, so that was the game. I hope you all enjoyed it, and a like and a subscription would be very much appreciated. And I'd like you to share your thoughts down below in the comment section. And I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye. Peace out. Thank you.